Hey, how you doing there again, folks? Me again, of course, Brandon Wenzel. Come back at you, another offering off my sampler platter. Yes, indeed, folks, sampler review series videos I've been doing for a little while now. Go over there, try out food and drink items. I eat stuff, I drink stuff, then, folks, I'm gonna talk about the stuff. I'm gonna let you know all that you need to know about hopefully delicious stuff. That time I'm doing this, folks, I'm not gonna lie. I just woke up about 45 minutes ago, so we're gonna see how groggy Brandon does with this review. But we'll get to that. Folks, it's super simple format. I'm gonna go over there, I'm gonna try out food and or drink items for you. Whilst I'm doing so, I'm yammer on about it for a bit. Whilst I'm doing all that, I'm inside my back room today, which means we get Peter Can Thunderbolt poster back there. Whilst I'm doing all that, folks, I am doing something else. What is it? I'm wearing a super cool shirt. And folks, when I wear super cool shirts, I always like to highlight the super cool shirt. What super cool shirt am I wearing for you today, folks? Well, it happens to be my Dragon Ball shirt. Really like this shirt. I have a Dragon Ball and a Dragon Ball Z shirt, but I have to admit, this is my personal favorite one. Because I grew up with Dragon Ball Z, and if you're somehow unfamiliar, it's a very, 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 very popular Japanese anime from a very famous creator called Akira Toriyama, who sadly passed away, not too long ago at this point that I'm doing this. I think it's been less than a year since he passed. But, the original Dragon Ball is where like the whole franchise got started, and then of course it really took off with Z, and then it was continued into GT and Super, and it's been a whole thing. It's a massive franchise these days. I personally really like the original Dragon Ball. It has its moments where it hasn't aged that well, but I think overall, like, it's just a really fun, just really enjoyable experience. So, representing on the shirt. But anyway, what am I trying for your day, folks? What are we doing here? Well, like I said, I did just wake up about 45 minutes ago. Typically, I don't do reviews this early in the morning, but it was a situation where I woke up and I was like, I'm hungry and I want something that like will hopefully kind of help, stir some of the stuff in my throat and, just the general gunk that builds up. And I might as well get in a review while I've got that opportunity. So I decided to grab, boom, it's some Cup Noodles, specifically from their stir fry with no added MSG, which there's no reason to put, but you can use MSG, by the way. That was a whole fucking propaganda thing against it before. That's whatever. MSG is fine. Like with anything, use it in, in moderation. You'd be fine. But this is their sweet chili flavor instant noodles, stir fry style Asian noodles in sauce. Yay! I like instant noodle stuff so much so I have an entire playlist called Ramen Reviews where I just review instant noodle stuff. This review will end up there as well. And yeah, man, I'm more of a Maruchan person, but I do like that Cup of Noodles, they do this sort of like kind of quasi borderline premium line with their stir fry stuff. So, give it a go. And we're going to get a thing for the thing here. Try to get a big old noodle pull. And we'll just like kind of ha 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 noodles. Let's give it a go. Okay, that's not bad. One thing with the stir fry, it is kind of interesting because when you think of like the instant noodles, are they strictly a noodle dish or are they like sort of a borderline soup dish? Because like they have a broth and it's a thing. Now the thing is, when you're doing the more traditional noodles, you could genuinely argue that it's almost more of a soup because you do get quite a bit of the broth left. Of course, you can pour it out, and some people do that. I don't, but with the stir fry, it really is more of a noodle dish because the water fill line on this is so much lower. So they really do want you to just get the water into the noodles to rehydrate them and not really be left with much left over, if anything. So definitely more of a straight noodle dish. The noodle consistency is fine. It's, standard cup noodle stuff. They didn't really do anything one way or another with that. But get a thing for the thing. mean, it does exactly what it says it's going to do on the label. It's got a little bit of a sweetness, a little bit of a chilliness. It's not, it's chilly in flavor, but not in terms of heat. At most, there's kind of went over there and awakened my inner Dane Cook with that one. At most, but no, you do get like maybe the slightest of heat, kind of at the back of the throat, but like not a lot. I'm actually a little bit disappointed in that regard because I wasn't expecting it to be spicy, but I was hoping it'd have a little bit more of a kick to it to again just kind of help get some of that crud out of my throat. But these are good noodles. I like them. I appreciate, like I said, I like the fact that Cup Noodles, they do these sort of premium ones alongside, their more standard ones. A couple of my adorable hamsters are out and about right now being adorable hamsters. Oh, they're silly. Let's see if we can get one of them. Where's the thing? Where'd the thing go? Literally just had the thing earlier. Ah, there you go. I haven't done a hamster cameo in a while. See if we can get my buddy Bernard over here. How you doing, Bernard? Who's your bud? Who's your bud? Come here, buddy. Yeah, he's a big old hamster. Who's a big old hamster, bud? Do a silly hamster cameo. My buddy Bernard. Look at this guy. He's a dwarf hamster. I love him. He's my tiny adventurer. He's a good boy. He's a very chill hamster. But going back to the review, I do like what they're doing with it. And it's a relatively simple flavor. Like, even with their somewhat more, quote unquote, like premium stuff, they're not as involved as certain other kind of premium ramens, ones that I've reviewed on the channel for that matter. They're not quite that, that involved, that level of flavor, but they're still nice. And I think that, again, it's a relatively simple thing. It's got a nice little sweetness to it. Not sweet, but, kind of almost along the lines of something you'd get from maybe like a teriyaki kind of thing, but on a very, very much more muted level. But it's really nice. It doesn't... They're good. I like them. I wouldn't say they're anything outstanding. But the overall flavor, the noodle consistency, everything about them is perfectly fine. And it works well for, again, what Cup Noodles does. Right, buddy? Yeah. He's a bud. Little dude. I love him. Also, I have my little girl, Aisha, over there. She's doing silly hamster stuff, too. But she is not the most sociable hamster, and it'd be a little bit harder to wrangle her in. So I'm just going to let her do her thing. Good boy. But all that said, 2 questions have to be asked. Would I get him again? Would I recommend him? On occasion, and sure. I think, when it comes to, like, the instant noodle type stuff and everything like that, and I've mentioned this before in previous reviews I've done for stuff like this, it's kind of a two-pronged thing where who am I recommending them to? Am I recommending them to myself, or am I recommending them to other people? For myself personally, they're perfectly fine noodles. They would never be a go-to noodle for me because I think they sort of fill that sort of middle ground where they're not really fully proper premium noodles. Right, bud? Yeah. They're not fully proper premium noodles the way other, again, more, premium noodles are. So, they certainly wouldn't be in, like, amongst my favorites list or anything, but they're still good for what they are. I like them. But at the same time, they're not, like, in that sort of, lower super cheap bracket that you get with, like, the standard Cup Noodles or the Maruchans. So it's kind of... But I do like the flavor, and, they do cost a little bit less than some of the more premium ones. So, while they would never be a go-to for me, they are ones that I could see myself picking up on occasion. Now, if I'm recommending them, though, that's the thing. am I recommending them to people like me, or am I recommending them to like actual adults who cook and do what they need to do? Because kind of two different brackets. For people like me, I think that again, they work, they're perfectly fine. They're not bad noodles, but you could get better premium noodles. Where's my body? You could get better premium noodles, and you could get slightly cheaper noodles. So, they're not bad for what they are. I do like the flavor that they offer, but there's certainly better tasting noodles out there. So, if I'm recommending them, though, to kind of the average person, see, this is where it actually kind of works out a little bit better for those people. Maybe just people who want them for lunch or something like that. Because in that instance, I can go over there and say, yeah, I think I would, because, they cost maybe a little bit more than the standard, just the baseline noodles, but they do definitely offer more in terms of, the flavor and, just kind of the overall experience. What you doing, buddy? I think that they have a lot going for them in that regard. And they're very, they're a simple, casual thing. Just pour it to the fill line. You don't even have to deal with the, any broth if you're not into that. So I think in a very casual way, these work nicely, and actually probably better than for somebody like me who I like these things, but I eat them more as, like when I get home and stuff like that, versus people are just using them very casually. But anyway, 5 things before I get out of here. Have yourself a great rest of your day, spectacular rest of your week, monumental rest of month, stupendous rest of your year. Folks, go over there and have themselves a truly adorable hamster-tastic rest of your life. Look at this adorable guy. He's a buddy. Yeah, he just woke up too. Who just woke up too, buddy? Such a good hamster. Love this guy. Final 2 things. Number 1, try to bring some positivity into the world. It's not always possible. It is, however, always appreciated. But what you do if you can't do it all the time, I know I can't do it all the time. Here's what you're going to do, folks. You're going to try not to be an asshole. Folks, not always the easiest thing in the world to not be an asshole. Trust me. I know it. I live it. I'm out there every day with you in it. Life can be stressful and frustrating and just bullshit sometimes, folks. And when we find ourselves in situations where we have to deal with said bullshit, it's important we go over there, whenever possible, take a step back, try to mitigate the level of assholishness in our lives, hopefully do better for ourselves and for those around us. Very final thing, folks, do the thing. Whatever the thing is for you, that's what I want you to go out and do. Folks, here's what I want you to go out and do. If you happen to have any pets of your own, be they hamster or otherwise, I want you to go over there and give them an extra special treat or a hug or a kiss just for me, because, to be honest, they make the world a substantially better place. I don't know what I'd do without my pets. And guys like my buddy Bernard, who is such a cute little dude and is totally getting a very nice treat as soon as I put him down because he's a bud. He's my buddy. Yeah. Anyway, folks, that's going to do it for me on this one. Say goodbye, Bernard. Bye, Bernard. Have a good one.